Recording is on.
Okay, so shall I kick off, Case?
Perfetto, allora abbiamo avviato la registrazione, iniziamo il webinar di presentazione della partnership tra Crowdhelix e il Consiglio Nazionale delle Ricerche. Questo è un webinar che è riservato, come abbiamo già detto, a tutti quanti i ricercatori del CNR e dipendenti del CNR che sono interessati al trasferimento tecnologico, ma anche a creare delle nuove partnership per quanto riguarda i progetti europei. Allora, il programma prevede una serie di interventi tra il CNR e Crowdhelix con una sessione di domande e risposte finali. Io lascerei subito la parola per le presentazioni, per il welcome, per un benvenuto a tutti i presenti, e intanto a Maria Carmela Basile, responsabile dell'unità di trasferimento tecnologico, unità valorizzazione della ricerca del CNR. Prego Maria Carmela.
Eccomi, buongiorno a tutti e a tutti, spero mi sentiate bene, benvenuti a questo webinar. Con molti di voi credo in realtà ci conosciamo già. Sono Maria Carmela Basile, per chi non mi conosce, sono responsabile dell'unità valorizzazione della ricerca, che è l'ufficio di trasferimento tecnologico del CNR, un ufficio di cui sono responsabile da poco meno di 2 anni, ma nel quale in realtà sono impegnata da 15 nelle varie forme che questo ufficio ha avuto nel tempo, quindi magari con diversi di voi c'è già stato modo di incrociarsi in passato. Questa struttura da quasi 2 anni, da poco più di 2 anni in realtà, è, come probabilmente sapete, molto esposta dal punto di vista strategico, gestionale, amministrativo, finanziario su alcune progettualità PNRR che ci hanno un po' richiesto di adattarci come funzioni di ufficio a nuovi processi che stiamo portando avanti con non poca fatica, ma so che questo è accaduto anche per la rete scientifica del CNR, quindi è uno stato che un po' ci accomuna, ma rimane il cuore delle attività di questa struttura, organizzato su 3 principali pilastri, che poi la collega Barbara Angelini magari avrà modo anche di raccontarvi un attimino meglio, anche con delle slide. La prima, la tutela, la gestione e la valorizzazione della proprietà intellettuale; la seconda, il supporto alla creazione di impresa spin-off; e la terza, la promozione, la gestione di partnership strategiche con soggetti esterni all'ente, con soggetti terzi, pubblici, privati, progetti finanziati anche in sede europea per il supporto all'innovazione e alla competitività delle imprese. E nell'ambito di questo terzo pilastro, che si inseriscono accordi con stakeholders del panorama dell'innovazione, del trasferimento tecnologico, del supporto alla nascita e alla crescita di start-up, spin-off della ricerca. Tra questi il recente accordo con Crowdhelix che oggi vi presentiamo. Saranno i colleghi Francesco Donadio, Barbara Angelini, che ringrazio perché sono il contact point del CNR per questo accordo, a raccontarvi quali sono gli obiettivi del CNR in questa collaborazione. Crowdhelix presenterà i servizi, la piattaforma e la community, quindi le opportunità che potranno derivare da questa collaborazione. Queste collaborazioni e gli accordi che come ente, che a livello centrale, come struttura promuoviamo, gestiamo, in realtà, ci tengo a dirlo molto chiaramente, sono un quadro nel quale vanno insieme individuati degli strumenti e rispetto a questi vanno messe in campo delle azioni che sono quelle che poi creano l'effetto, l'impatto sulla rete scientifica, sul nostro sistema un po' di riferimento. Per questo è importante la collaborazione di tutti voi, quindi non solo delle parti e dei contact point delle parti. Quindi spero che avremo un meeting interessante, che ci si potrà confrontare anche nella sessione di Q&A al termine delle presentazioni. Io mi scuso molto perché per un altro impegno tra qualche minuto non potrò seguire tutto il webinar, ma mi collegherò quasi certamente per appunto la sessione Q&A e per la chiusura. L'ultimo minuto di nuovo per ringraziare Barbara e Francesco anche per aver promosso e organizzato questo evento, questo webinar, insomma questa iniziativa, e lascio la parola a Crowdhelix.
Allora lasciamo la parola a Michael Brown, che è il CEO di Crowdhelix, che farà anche lui un breve saluto e di seguito presenterà, diciamo, questa piattaforma. Michael lo farà in inglese. Michael, it's your turn.
Thank you, Francesco, and thank you, Maria, and welcome everybody. Thank you for your time this morning, for attending this webinar. It's great to be with you, and just following on from Maria's introductory comments, a few important points to note is that we have a strategic partnership, Crowdhelix and CNR, and part of today's purpose, really, part of today's objectives is really to build on that partnership, to showcase what we do at Crowdhelix, what our membership looks like, what our services look like, and to see how we can provide value and benefits to you and your organizations and to your members and to your researchers to help you improve your visibility and your collaborative connectivity across Europe and globally as well. So that's the purpose of today, from my perspective at least. I'm Michael Brown. I'm the CEO and I'm one of the founders of Crowdhelix. So Crowdhelix, just a few words and introductions of what we do and who we are. So we're an SME. We're based in the UK and also in Ireland. We have been around for 12 years. My previous background was working in the university sector. So I led a research department at University College London for 15 years. It was one of the top performing universities for framework program funding before Brexit. And when I was doing my job back then at UCL, even then, as UCL being a world leading organization, it's a top 10 world leading research center. Even UCL was finding it quite tricky to find the right partners internationally. How can the researchers at UCL find collaborators globally across different disciplines, across different sectors, across different regions? And then we thought, well, if UCL is having problems doing this or challenges doing this, then the chances are most other organizations will find this a challenge too. And that led to Crowdhelix being born, really. So Crowdhelix was born in response to that challenge, which is trying to help organizations, researchers and businesses to be profiled and to be connected to form international partnerships, international networks around research and innovation. We started the idea 12 years ago, fast forward to where we are now, and we have a network of nearly 900 member organizations from all over the world, from New Zealand, from South Korea, from Africa, South America, Canada. It's a truly global network, and what makes us unique is that we have built our own proprietary platform, technology platform, which profiles organizations and people, and it uses AI and machine learning technology to form relationships and partnerships, new relationships across different disciplines and sectors. So if you look at all of the big challenges that we face as society, and a lot of the mega projects that are being funded from big portfolios like Horizon Europe, if you look at Pillar 2 of Horizon Europe, which is the biggest part of Horizon Europe, it's in the next 3 years under Pillar 2, the Commission will be funding around about 15 billion euros of funding. If you look at the projects that the European Commission are funding for collaborative networks, that they require large-scale global collaboration, large-scale partnerships across different disciplines, across different sectors, researchers working with businesses, social scientists working with technologists, medics working with engineers. So, and quite often people do not have the networks within their own network to build these networks. You have to work through other networks and platforms to find the right partners. And quite frankly, if you're a researcher or if you're a postdoc, or particularly if you're an early stage researcher who wants to build your network globally, internationally, how do you make your skills, how do you make your expertise visible to the outside world? Most of the networks that our research organizations and universities have, most of the networks that they have are in and around their own ecosystem. So for UCL, the networks that UCL had was in and around southeast of England, in and around London. But how can you make the researchers' expertise, particularly for early stage researchers that are coming through, visible to people outside of the UK, to people outside of academia? And this is what we do at Crowdhelix. We help people to form new relationships and partnerships to develop research and innovation networks to deliver impact. So just some high-level statistics about our platform and our network. You'll see here, these are kind of, I guess they are partly vanity stats really, but it just gives you an idea of the depth and reach that we have at Crowdhelix. We would love to work more closely with CNR and the institutes to really get you involved on using the platform. And the purpose, one of the objectives for today, which Case will be doing in a little bit, will be providing a demonstration of our platform to show you how you can get access to the platform and how you can use it to profile your expertise and form new relationships. Here are just a snapshot of some of our member organizations. As I said, we have nearly 900 members. We have research organizations, so research centers, we have universities, we have SMEs, big businesses. We even have some funding agencies who are members of Crowdhelix as well. But some of them are some of the top performing research centers across the European research area, but also some of them maybe are less so performing when it comes to international collaboration, but they want to use Crowdhelix as an enabler to help to amplify their visibility and connectivity. What we have just a slide here just to show the different types of services that we provide, which is really around 4 areas really, which is firstly around proposal development. So if any of your organizations or your people are looking for proposal support, review support, we can offer this, and we have done this to selected members. We have a whole portfolio of successful outcomes where we've helped organizations write applications, review applications, and get funding. Then obviously the second part here on the top right, which is really focused on our matchmaking. So this is the core part of what we do, which is helping organizations become more visible and matching organizations to new organizations and people to form new relationships to deliver international collaborative networks. We also, on our platform, what Case will show in a moment is we have a feature where you can showcase any results or intellectual property or publications or IP that you want to make visible on the platform to the international global market, and we can use our machine learning and recommendation system to match your IP and your results to potential end users. So what we're trying to do is help to push the results and the IP that's being developed in the labs, in the research centers, out to the real world and provide extra visibility for our members to real world end users and quote unquote exploiters of research in a nice way, exploiters of research, commercialization and technology transfer. And then the fourth and final part here is really around training. So we do a lot of training. We deliver about 20-25 training events per year across the whole research and innovation sector, from proposal writing to specific parts of Horizon Europe to international funding outside of Horizon Europe. And I just want to stop here. Just one other aspect that I want to highlight to you which is a real new novelty, which may be of interest to you and your researchers. And this is kind of hot off the press news from Crowdhelix. So we've also designed recently a Marie Skłodowska-Curie proposal review AI agent, which will be available to our member organizations. And so if anyone is interested in applying for Marie Curie funding, If you have fellows in your labs that are looking to apply, or if you're looking to host fellows in your labs or research centers, then we have a tool which we've built over the last 6 months using our AI and machine learning team and expertise that I have and colleagues have from being an evaluator of the Marie Curie program for more than 20 years. So we've built this tool over the last 6 months by feeding into the tool the guidelines from Horizon Europe for Marie Curie, lots of applications that we've have access to previously, lots of evaluation summary reports, and we've trained this tool to now be able to give instant feedback to applicants writing fellowship applications. And we feel this is a real new novelty of Crowdhelix. It's a state-of-the-art novelty that will be available to member organizations, which will be looking to launch officially in the spring for our member organizations in response to the September Marie Curie deadlines. So if any of you are interested in this, or your colleagues are interested in this, if you want to learn more about this particular agent that we have created, I have to say, even though we did it ourselves, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging too much, but it is incredible. When we were building it ourselves, I thought, could we actually do this? But I've been testing it. I've been an evaluator. My colleagues have been evaluators, and it is so incredible what they've done. So I'd very much welcome you or any of your colleagues as a follow-up today separately if you're interested in Marie Curie in the call that's out at the moment. But people will start to be applying for this in the probably spring, around about May time, for September's deadlines. If you're interested in this, please feel free to reach out to myself or Case after today's event. So I just wanted to kind of plug that latest innovation that we've developed. And just about the network itself. So the way the network is structured is around virtual communities. These are clusters, or we call them helixes for branding purposes, but just think of them as a topic area. And we build out these topic areas. They are led either by a project that is funded or by a research organization that wants to lead that respective area. We have around about 50 of these topic areas that we've built on our platform, led by leveraging our network, live at the moment. Please take a look at them if and when you have a chance. Please get involved in any of the communities that you feel are of interest to you or your colleagues. Case will show you how to profile your expertise a little bit later. But additionally, if there are any, if you could just go back one sec, Case, if there are any, this is from Maria Francesca, but also any of the lab leaders or research center leaders, if there are any particular topic areas that you don't see on our platform that you think, oh, do you know what, this might be of interest to CNR, we might want to lead this area, or it might be a multidisciplinary area, please reach out to us. We would love to have a conversation with you and see how we might be able to build a community of value to you. And what we do is when we build that community, we use our network and our technology to pull in opportunities to that place, and that coordinator or the sponsor of that cluster can use those opportunities to drive value for their organization going forward. So please feel free to have a look at those areas and obviously get involved in the ones that are available. But if there are some that you don't see that you would like CNR to potentially lead on, please give us a shout. Sorry, kids. And then just a couple more slides finally. So there's a big part of what we're doing over the coming months is that the way the call cycle for Horizon Europe is structured this year for collaborative research is a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest with you. The commission, the way the call cycle has been structured is such that, so under previous years, all of the call deadlines would be throughout the calendar year. So you would have call deadlines in February, March, April, May, and you could plan accordingly throughout the year. And it's in a fairly managed, sustainable way. This year, 2025, is very different because of the way the politics has developed within the Commission, because of the way the funding is allocated. And what it means is that the funding for all of Pillar 2, so it's about 15 billion euros of funding that is going to be allocated in 2025. All of the calls for these 6 topic areas, so energy, health, here are the topic areas here. All of these calls will become live in the spring. So they're going to become live in about May time. And what that means is that all of the deadlines, and I mean all of the deadlines for all of these areas will come in September. So it's going to be really demanding and challenging for research centers to be able to apply for this funding all at once. So normally you would have a year's cycle of different types of funding calls opening and closing during a 12-month period. In 2025, what's happening is they're all opening up at the same time and they're all closing more or less at the same time in September. So that's a challenge for research organizations. So what we're doing at Crowdhelix is we are preparing for this now, and we have already confirmed 6 face-to-face matchmaking brokerage events all across different locations across Europe, looking at each cluster of Pillar 2. So you'll see these events here. So civil security and society, circular economy, materials and digital, energy, transport, environment and food, health, culture, creativity, inclusive society. And what we're doing is we're working with these host organizations now and with our respective members now to look at the draft work program to identify coordinators. And we're starting to build the networks, the R&I networks now in preparation for September, because we know if we wait until the summer, it's going to be a holiday period, and then it's going to be this avalanche of everyone wanting to apply. So we're trying to get as best prepared as possible. What this means for CNR is that you can obviously get involved in these events as well. If you have any prospective coordinators that you would like to plug into these events, you are very welcome to do so. That's an open offer from us. Please have a look at the topic areas. If any of these are of interest, please let myself or Case know. Just to give you an idea of the level of ambition that we have at Crowdhelix for these events alone, is that we're going to be aiming to build between 70 and 100 completely new research and innovation networks from these events. So we're looking to build somewhere between 10 and 15 new networks per event. So we've already got the event for circular economy and materials. We've got already 9 coordinators lined up for that event, which is at the end of next month. And we're going to be taking the same approach for all of the other events across all of these opportunities here. And the idea behind it is really just to try to help prepare our organizations for these opportunities, to help to put people in place for these emerging networks, to make sure that we're putting the partnerships in place appropriate to what the call requires, and really just trying to be as best prepared as possible. So if any of you or your colleagues are interested in these forthcoming calls, please let us know. If you have any prospective coordinators, if you want to be involved in the event, if you want a speaking slot at the event, if you want to be a bit more profile, please reach out. Now's the time to let us know, because we're just looking to finalize the details in the coming weeks. So it's a call out, it's an open offer, no obligation. If this is of interest, please let us know. I think the final part is obviously, which I've mentioned, is around about the training that we offer. So as CNR is a member or has a strategic relationship with Crowdhelix, you have access to these training courses that we offer. We genuinely have access to sector leading specialists across our network. So we're a global network. So what we do is we find global specialists who are the best in their field, who we foresee are the best in their field, in their specific area. And we bring them into Crowdhelix, and they provide 1 to 2 hour webinars as a training webinar as a benefit to our Crowdhelix members. And this covers things from policy, FP10, to research management, to ERC, to Marie Curie, and so on. So it's just a flag that you have access to this through our strategic relationship. Please keep an eye out for this. You and your colleagues are welcome to attend these. These webinars are also recorded as well, and they are hosted on our platform. So if any of you are unable to make these events or want to go back and listen to ones that have been delivered historically, you can also access that as a strategic partner of Crowdhelix as well. So I'd like to thank you all for your time this morning to meeting with us. I will be around for the entire event. I'd like to thank Maria and Francesco for organising this. It's a real pleasure to be with you. We hope that you can get some value from what we're offering today and going forward. And we genuinely look forward to delivering impact to your organisation, both societal and industrial impact, so that you can really get some meaningful value from Crowdhelix now and going forward. So thank you very much for your time. I'll now hand over maybe to Case, is it, who will take it forward? Is that correct? I'm going to hand over to the next session of our event here, and this will be a presentation from CNR, from Barbara and Francesco. Cool.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, guys. No, I'll switch to Italian now. Era molto importante che Crowdhelix si presentasse, insomma, anche perché si capisse poi la presentazione successiva, quella che faremo con Barbara Angelini, in cui spiegheremo, diciamo, come è strutturato questo memorandum of understanding tra il CNR e Crowdhelix. Allora, ecco qua, prego Barbara, inizia tu a illustrarlo.
Barbara, forse sei in muto.
Sì, avete ragione, scusate, ero talmente tanto presa dal condividere lo schermo che non mi ero accorta di aver lasciato in muto. Allora, prima vi ringrazio e vorrei chiedere conferma che riusciate a vedere il mio schermo, la presentazione che ho condiviso.
Sì, Barbara.
Perfetto, grazie mille. Allora, buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti, grazie per l'interesse e come anticipato tanto da Francesco quanto anche da Kais, adesso entriamo nel core della presentazione, nel senso che avete visto i servizi offerti da Crowdhelix e invece adesso il compito mio e di Francesco Donadio sarà quello di presentarvi l'accordo di partenariato che è stato siglato tra l'unità Valorizzazione Ricerca e Crowdhelix, focalizzandoci sull'obiettivo, sulle attività previste, ma anche sulle possibili opportunità e o vantaggi che possono derivare, che possono venire ai team di ricerca piuttosto che al personale CNR interessato a partecipare a diversi livelli a queste attività. Prima di entrare, diciamo, nel cuore della presentazione, come Maria Carmela Basile ha già anticipato in parte quelle che sono le attività di UVR, io diciamo vi do una vista grafica di quelle che sono i pilastri dell'unità valorizzazione della ricerca che rappresentano anche le principali attività della struttura. Maria Carmela ha già parlato di tutela e valorizzazione della proprietà intellettuale, le attività di promozione e supporto alla creazione di nuova impresa spin-off e soprattutto diciamo il pilastro che oggi io rappresento è quello di promozione e marketing dei risultati della ricerca. Come vedete alcune attività sono più verticali, altre invece sono trasversali. E ci terrei a fare un focus su quelli che sono i canali di promozione delle tecnologie sviluppate da voi ricercatori presso i laboratori di ricerca, quindi parliamo di tecnologie che possono essere già brevettate, brevettabili o know-how, e in questa slide potete vedere sinteticamente schematizzati i diversi canali di promozione che UVR ha attivato o comunque sia con cui è in contatto per far sì che i risultati della ricerca ottenuti nei laboratori di ricerca, chiaramente tenendo conto dell'area tematica e anche dello stadio di sviluppo, possano trovare forme di valorizzazione, quindi tanto in accordi di licenza se parliamo di brevetti, quanto anche quando si dice valorizzazione parliamo anche di attrazione di finanziamenti, per esempio attraverso presentazione di progetti che possono essere regionali, nazionali ed europei. Chiaramente i risultati di ricerca da voi ottenuti sono sempre un valore aggiunto che porta non soltanto competenze ed expertise all'interno di un progetto, ma fa sì soprattutto che attraverso l'attrazione di finanziamenti il team di ricerca possa andare avanti con lo sviluppo della tecnologia fino ad arrivare sempre più prossimo al mercato. Come vedete abbiamo tutta una serie di partner che vanno da accordi con partner istituzionali che possono essere italiani o stranieri. Io qui vi ho riportato diciamo una selezione, un elenco. Crowdhelix ovviamente è stato riportato e è stato evidenziato perché oggi è la giornata per presentare questo accordo, però come vedete andiamo dalle associazioni di categoria a partner che ci aiutano a trovare sempre di più il matching con il mondo tanto del settore produttivo ma anche con gli investitori. La struttura partecipa a progetti sul trasferimento tecnologico che vedono coinvolti anche partner esterni. alcuni di voi, spero la maggior parte, mi auguro che il numero cresca sempre di più, conoscono e hanno le proprie tecnologie promosse sul progetto Promoted Instrument. Poi c'è il progetto mirate, che invece è un progetto che parte dal fabbisogno delle aziende, c'è Knowledge Share, che è sviluppato insieme al Network, il programma Amico, la rete Enterprise Europe Network e i progetti PNRR. Per la promozione dei brevetti, per esempio, abbiamo un database online per promuoverli. Abbiamo fatto in passato accordi con società di valorizzazione, i cosiddetti broker tecnologici. Facciamo attività di supporto e promozione per la costituzione di un'azienda spin-off, quindi abbiamo anche dei collegamenti con investitori che, diciamo, sono dei soggetti leggermente, anzi diversi dalle imprese e che quindi magari chiedono anche stadi di maturità tecnologica, stadi di sviluppo differenti rispetto a quello che potrebbe chiedere un'impresa. E poi ovviamente è nostro interesse effettuare, avviare e realizzare attività di promozione, iniziative in diversi contesti per realizzare incontri sul territorio, tanto con voi ricercatori, quanto anche diciamo con i soggetti del mondo produttivo. E nel passato, diciamo, molti di voi ricorderanno le borse di dottorato industriale attraverso l'accordo siglato del CNR e Confindustria, e ovviamente non possono mancare le attività di formazione e informazione rivolte tanto ai ricercatori CNR quanto anche ai soggetti del settore produttivo. Qui invece lascio la parola a Francesco perché questo Memorandum of Understanding, come avrete capito, è stato siglato dall'unità Valorizzazione della Ricerca, ma vede coinvolto anche l'ufficio supporto alla ricerca grant. Quindi chiedo a Francesco di illustrare lui quelle che sono...
Sì, perfetto, grazie Barbara. Allora, molto rapidamente, io sono afferente all'ufficio supporto alla ricerca grant del CNR e so che ci sono parecchie persone pure che ci seguono e fanno parte del gruppo IRC, e una delle cose che appunto seguiamo con attenzione sono la predisposizione e la gestione dei progetti europei, però con particolare attenzione a quelli dello European Research Council, secondo le logiche europee del Project Cycle Management. E è un'altra delle attività importanti che svolgo presso l'ufficio supporto alla ricerca e grant, che si va pure, si andrà spero a collegare a questo memorandum of understanding con Crowdhelix, e sono le attività di formazione. Io sono del gruppo di lavoro sulla formazione per la europrogettazione, e ci sono numerose, che organizziamo una serie di corsi anche con APRE del corso dell'anno, e che sono assolutamente necessari per la rete scientifica, che ci richiede proprio la rete scientifica, e vedremo adesso in seguito come integrare anche queste cose, queste attività di training interessantissime che fa Crowdhelix in quello che facciamo noi. E per quanto riguarda l'ufficio supporto alla ricerca e grant, oltre a queste attività analizza i risultati della ricerca all'ente secondo una logica di benchmark, che presta supporto tecnico per l'attrazione di risorse per il miglior posizionamento del CNR sia a livello nazionale che a livello internazionale. Cura la ricerca di bandi avvisi per il finanziamento di progetti di ricerca o di servizi di alta consulenza, presta servizi di supporto tecnico amministrativo in ordine alla sostenibilità finanziaria, alla predisposizione delle proposte progettuali, ai procedimenti di monitoraggio e rendicontazione dei vari progetti di ricerca regionali, nazionali e internazionali. E tutto questo in collaborazione con gli altri uffici dell'amministrazione centrale del CNR, come per esempio la contabilità, il personale, eccetera. E cura anche la definizione di documenti di analisi di sintesi per l'elaborazione del piano strategico a supporto degli organi statutari del CNR. Prego Barbara, se mi puoi spostare la prossima slide. Andiamo proprio nel cuore del memorandum of understanding che è stato firmato tra l'unità Valorizzazione della Ricerca e Crowdhelix in data 31 maggio 2024 e che avrà durata di 3 anni. Allora, in primo luogo, prego Barbara, l'obiettivo fondamentale, diciamo, di questo memorandum of understanding è realizzare iniziative congiunte e implementare i vari strumenti di trasferimento tecnologico in questi settori che vedete: deep tech, biotechnologies, economia circolare, energie rinnovabili e nature-based solutions. Come si... Prego Barbara, vuoi dire qualcosa?
Sì, no, volevo intervenire soltanto, diciamo, su 2 punti, chiaramente dicendovi che per noi è molto importante la collaborazione tanto interna quanto esterna, e il Memorandum of Understanding, come ha anche anticipato Maria Carmela nei suoi saluti introduttivi, ha una natura non onerosa, non esclusiva, ma il suo
Ok,
punto di forza è che potrà permettere a voi ricercatori, vedremo poi avanti, ci saranno anche grazie alla presentazione CAIS delle attività, adesso entreremo nel merito, di natura gratuita per noi CNR, Michael ne ha già illustrate alcune, ed altre che invece potrebbero prevedere, diciamo, un carattere oneroso. Però grazie a questo Memorandum of Understanding voi avrete un accordo quadro, diciamo un framework, all'interno del quale poter stabilire la tipologia di collaborazione da attuare con Crowdhelix, quindi o di natura non onerosa, e vedremo quelle che saranno, anche per singolo ricercatore o team di ricerca, fino ad arrivare ad attività che invece potrebbero prevedere proprio come posso dire, la promozione delle competenze a livello di istituto, per esempio. Quindi questo elenco che vi ha detto Francesco, chiaramente, diciamo, vedete dei termini diversi, però avete già visto la presentazione di Michael che
è più
praticamente
vasto.
copriamo tutti gli ambiti in cui il CNR opera.
Opera.
Vado io,
Bene,
Francesco, vuoi fare tu?
no, vai tu fino alla fine, dai. Io ho una
Oh,
situazione ambientale un po' complicata, ecco, quindi è meglio se vai tu.
ok, allora vediamo nello specifico le 5 attività che sono previste dal Memorandum of Understanding, o quantomeno che abbiamo riportato. Questo non vuol dire che poi non si possano effettuare integrazioni. Considerate che tanto io quanto Francesco siamo nel comitato di indirizzo strategico e rappresentanza del CNR, quindi laddove ci rendessimo conto nel periodo, diciamo, andando avanti con queste che sono attività che magari ci rendiamo conto che vogliamo delle altre attività, potranno sempre essere integrate. Questo è un punto di partenza, ci auguriamo, ma poi sarete voi ricercatori a confermarci o meno se effettivamente l'attività riscontra un successo da parte vostra in termini di partecipazione e di interesse, e magari se sarà il caso di integrare. Partiamo subito con il promuovere il know-how e le tecnologie del CNR al fine di aumentare le opportunità e incoraggiare l'avvio di partnership e investimenti. Sappiamo benissimo che quando siamo alla ricerca di un possibile partner proveniente dal mondo, dal settore produttivo, come avete visto, UVR ha tantissimi canali di promozione. Perché? Perché è bene promuovere i risultati della ricerca che sono stati sviluppati da voi nei laboratori attraverso una vasta gamma di attività e di azioni. Ma statisticamente parlando, più canali chiaramente pertinenti vengono esplorate, più possibilità abbiamo di trovare magari il giusto interlocutore che faccia al caso vostro in termini di ricerca e sviluppo. Chiaramente quando parliamo di trasferimento tecnologico non possiamo limitarci unicamente all'ambito nazionale, magari abbiamo piacere se è un'azienda italiana a sviluppare una tecnologia ottenuta dal CNR, però non possiamo, dobbiamo anzi prendere in considerazione anche il panorama internazionale. Per questa specifica attività, una delle cose che metteremo presto a punto con Crowdhelix è la creazione di un profilo, di un sottoprofilo, scusate, che farà sempre capo al CNR, ma che riguarderà il progetto Promo-TT Instrument, perché come alcuni di voi sanno, e spero che altri ricercatori decidano di aderire, il progetto Promo-TT promuove le tecnologie del CNR di potenziale interesse per il mercato, e le promuove direttamente tutte in lingua italiana e straniera. Al momento abbiamo raccolto 189 tecnologie validate da un comitato di analisi e fattibilità condivise, e quindi faremo in maniera che sulla piattaforma di Crowdhelix ci sia un sottoprofilo dedicato a PromoTT per la promozione delle 189 schede di tecnologie sviluppate nei diversi settori e ambiti. Questo che vuol dire che chi non sta su PromoTT non può promuoverle? Assolutamente no. Io mi auguro, tanto ogni anno facciamo la call di scouting a ottobre, che le vogliate mettere nella call di scouting del 2025, però laddove voi aveste le tecnologie e voleste promuoverle, diciamo magari attraverso un profilo dell'istituto piuttosto che attraverso un vostro profilo a livello di ricercatori o team di ricerca, potrete farlo, perché questa qui è una delle attività previste dal nostro Memorandum of Understanding. Come avete visto dalla presentazione di Michael, loro sono in contatto con un elevatissimo numero di soggetti del settore produttivo a livello internazionale, oltre che con le università, ma quello probabilmente anche voi nei vostri settori avrete contatti con i soggetti pubblici della ricerca straniere, però la cosa importante è che si può creare, loro fanno anche eventi di matchmaking, quindi stiamo attivando un ulteriore canale di promozione di quelle che possono essere le tecnologie da voi sviluppate e per le quali viene richiesta un'attività di promozione per trovare un partner, magari del settore produttivo, che vi aiuti a sviluppare ulteriormente la tecnologia fino a portarla sul mercato. La seconda attività, e questa qui anche pensiamo che possa essere di grande interesse, è promuovere la partecipazione a progetti congiunti, anche finanziati in sede europea o in collaborazione con soggetti terzi. Loro, Crowdhelix, oltre ad avere una community numerosissima a livello internazionale, ma abbiamo visto che hanno aderito anche già dei partner italiani, quindi non solo riescono diciamo, a mettervi in contatto con soggetti, ma addirittura loro fanno anche attività di scouting di progetti, chiaramente internazionali e europei, e possono aiutarvi anche a creare il partenariato. Questa, a nostro avviso, è un'azione molto importante, perché sappiamo benissimo che una delle missioni del CNR è quella non soltanto di aumentare la partecipazione dei team di ricerca dell'ente a progetti europei, ma anche, ci auguriamo, di vincerli proprio. La terza è realizzare workshop e iniziative formative dedicate alla presentazione di progetti di ricerca e innovazione di successo. Oggi è un webinar di presentazione del nostro Memorandum of Understanding, ma chiaramente ci auguriamo, come ha detto anche Maria Carmela nei suoi saluti introduttivi, anche grazie alla vostra collaborazione, di poter realizzare in futuro workshop, iniziative formative, anche informative, magari focalizzate su specifici ambiti tematici che chi deciderà di partecipare a queste attività riterrà di interesse, e questi workshop possono essere tanto rivolti alla rete scientifica, magari per approfondire delle tematiche di vostro interesse, che possono andare dal trasferimento tecnologico alla presentazione, all'europrogettazione, ma potrebbero anche essere, diciamo, di interesse della controparte, magari presentando alcune tecnologie, alcuni risultati della ricerca, che magari potrebbero invece essere di interesse da parte di una parte della community di Crowdhelix. Creare un punto di accesso alla rete scientifica del CNR per i servizi di Crowdhelix. Qui non vi faccio spoiler, perché l'intervento che seguirà questa presentazione che sarà tenuto da Kais, sarà proprio rivolto a mostrarvi come è organizzata la piattaforma, come potete segnarvi, come potete mettere in evidenza le vostre competenze e anche gli interessi in termini di ambiti tematici di vostro, diciamo, focalizzati o sulle vostre esigenze o su quelle degli istituti. Vedremo anche che loro hanno diversi ambiti tematici e addirittura si possono creare quelle che loro chiamano le helix, le eliche specifiche, quindi laddove per esempio l'istituto, il vostro istituto di afferenza lo reputasse di interesse e volesse creare un'elica diciamo focalizzata non tanto su una macro area quanto, diciamo, su un verticale specifico sul quale magari vuole puntare, vedremo, vi posso già anticipare che Crowdhelix questo servizio lo dà, non è gratuito questo, però a quel punto, creando l'elica, diciamo, si diventa punto di riferimento, coordinatori di tutta una serie di attori che sono nella community di Crowdhelix, che potrebbero manifestare interesse a sviluppare, a partecipare a quell'elica tematica. Chiaramente se la proponete voi come istituto sarà focalizzata su sull'area tematica, diciamo, deciderete voi quanto circoscritta, di vostro particolare interesse, e questo farà sì che il vostro network di contatti aumenti sempre di più. Chiaramente la creazione di un'edica, ci tengo a dirlo, non può essere da parte di un singolo ricercatore, ma è un servizio che invece magari potrebbe riguardare più l'istituto di ricerca al quale afferire. E poi, diciamo, concludiamo con la quinta attività, che è stimolare l'interesse dell'ecosistema di Crowdhelix al fine di favorire l'innovazione e la competitività degli operatori della community stessa. Quindi tutti gli attori che fanno parte della community di Crowdhelix, chiaramente, specialmente quelli privati, ma anche quelli pubblici, hanno tutto l'interesse a entrare in contatto con ricercatori provenienti da un ente come il CNR. Perché? Perché chiaramente le competenze che avete sviluppato, che sviluppate ogni giorno attraverso attività di laboratorio, formazione e informazione, sono veramente importanti, e questo dà valore aggiunto anche ai partner alla community di Crowdhelix. E adesso, diciamo, vorrei concludere insieme a Francesco il nostro intervento, puntando su quelle che, o meglio, illustrandovi quelli che possono essere le possibili opportunità e o vantaggi. Noi li abbiamo immaginati, perché chiaramente oggi partiamo con le attività, quindi fino adesso è stato tutto un lavoro di identificazione di quelle che possono essere attività di interesse, basandoci anche sull'esperienza che abbiamo maturato nei diversi settori, e quindi cercando di portare un reale beneficio alla rete scientifica del CNR. Quindi abbiamo immaginato, ma poi ce lo confermerete voi, se quello che noi abbiamo immaginato come possibili opportunità o vantaggi, diciamo, trova riscontro, o magari ne potrebbero esserci ulteriori opportunità e vantaggi che noi in questo momento non abbiamo immaginato, ma che potrebbero essere. Quindi cominciamo con la possibilità per la rete scientifica del CNR di promuovere le proprie tecnologie e competenze alla community internazionale di Crowdhelix. Questo sicuramente è un bel punto di accesso, specialmente sul fronte internazionale. Ve l'ho già detto, come con il progetto Promuovere creeremo diciamo, un profilo dedicato, sempre nell'ambito della grande famiglia CNR, dove promuoveremo già le 189 tecnologie che ogni anno crescono, perché tutti i ricercatori, quando parte la call, sono invitati a presentare una o più schede di scouting delle loro tecnologie. Però in realtà, diciamo, anche sul vostro profilo magari potreste promuovere le vostre competenze. Opportunità di individuare proposte progettuali europee e internazionali di specifico interesse. È vero che riceviamo tantissime newsletter e quant'altro, però magari avendo voi realizzato un vostro profilo con i vostri interessi specifici, probabilmente vi verranno indicate quelle proposte progettuali europee / internazionali proprio di vostro interesse. Quindi potrete vedere ciò, diciamo, focalizzato su quanto voi avrete illustrato a livello di competenze e di interessi. Opportunità di individuare soggetti per la definizione del partenariato di call di progetti sempre europei e internazionali. Questo anche è un altro punto abbastanza importante dal nostro punto di vista, perché magari molti di voi già hanno contatti con l'estero e già sono preparati, laddove esce una call, a costituire in tempi brevi il partenariato per poi partire subito con la scrittura della proposta. In altri casi invece potrebbero esserci dei colleghi, dei ricercatori che magari, specialmente quando il progetto è europeo e quindi chiede una certa partecipazione, magari potrebbero incontrare delle criticità nell'entrare in contatto con tutta una serie di soggetti, magari non saper come fare, o magari affidarsi al famoso vediamo se qualcun altro di contatti che ho mi sa suggerire qualcuno. In questa maniera invece potete individuare all'interno della community di Crowdhelix, o da soli o magari facendovi supportare da CAIS e dai colleghi di Crowdhelix, possibili partner di vostro interesse. Poi vedremo nella presentazione successiva anche come si fa come si fa a individuarli. Ve l'ho già detto prima, il penultimo punto ve l'ho già illustrato prima, è la possibilità di partecipare o proporre come istituto, perché ripeto, questa sarà un'attività dove sarà prevista un pagamento, e in questo caso l'istituto potrà siglare con Crowdhelix una convenzione operativa derivante dal Memorandum of Understanding. Quindi il Memorandum of Understanding è il framework all'interno del quale vengono previste determinate attività, e l'istituto, partendo da quel Memorandum of Understanding, potrà siglare, quindi autonomamente, una convenzione operativa, perché magari ha individuato una o più specifiche eliche per temi di interesse specifico, e lì chiaramente sarà chi la proporrà, quindi il soggetto giuridico istituto, e sarà il coordinatore di quell'elica. E invece l'ultimo punto mi fa piacere che ve lo illustri Francesco, perché chiaramente, voglio dire, io opero nell'ambito del trasferimento tecnologico, però diciamo per le giornate di formazione, di aggiornamento, questi sono gratuiti per la rete scientifica del CNR, mi fa molto piacere che sia Francesco a illustrarveli.
Sì, beh, ho già accennato a questo aspetto, insomma, abbiamo anche visto nella presentazione di Michael Brown alcuni esempi di giornate, insomma, di tematiche che loro stanno affrontando, in particolare quelle della Marie Curie. Quindi, diciamo, in futuro potrà essere molto interessante integrare quanto stiamo facendo a livello di CNR, a livello con competenze interne, ma anche con competenze di APRE, con cui il CNR collabora ormai da tantissimo tempo, a queste opportunità offerte dalla piattaforma di Crowdhelix. E con questo direi di chiudere la presentazione dando i nostri riferimenti in caso alle persone: Barbara Angelini, UVR, Francesco Donadio, USRG, con i nostri telefoni, le nostre email. Vi ringraziamo per l'attenzione e arrivederci no, perché siamo ancora qua. Mi arrivano dei WhatsApp dai miei contatti dicendo sì, però va bene, però andiamo al sodo. Cosa offre questa piattaforma Crowdhelix? Bene, lo vediamo subito, perché il prossimo intervento che abbiamo programmato è quello di Kees Jurgens, che appunto ci illustrerà le features, le caratteristiche, le principali caratteristiche, diciamo, della piattaforma di Crowdhelix. Guys, okay, you will illustrate the main features of the Crowdhelix platform. Somebody already contacted me just to have more details on what the opportunities are in relation to this MOU. So it's up to you now.
Okay, thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you, Francesco, and thank you for everyone sticking around. Apologies for switching languages once again, but thanks for your understanding. I'm going to give you about a 20 to 25 minute overview of Crowdhelix's virtual collaboration platform. This is the online portion of what we do. Crowdhelix facilitates collaborative partnerships, usually in 3 different ways. The platform, where organizations and individuals profile themselves, their expertise, and how they can participate in open innovation projects. This is done across 50 different communities, and we apply a machine learning matchmaking algorithm to make it work more effectively. The second way is through events. Michael touched on those events earlier, and I will talk about them again in a moment. And then personalized services. People like myself, the other 30 plus staff members at Crowdhelix, we work with organizations like CNR behind the scenes to help them make connections for consortia building, for technology transfer, for training, etc. So hopefully we're kind of a one-stop shop, if that makes sense. But our platform is the main focus area for the next few minutes. This is where we essentially where the magic happens virtually. Organizations and individuals profile themselves within Crowdhelix. CNR has a basic profile on Crowdhelix right now, as well as part of our agreement. What I'm really going to focus on here is how a profile looks, how individual people can profile themselves, tailor a machine learning algorithm that works for them, that matches them to 2 things. The first thing it matches them to are opportunities to collaborate from other researchers, other universities or businesses that are seeking expertise that you may have. They want to work with someone like you. They need your expertise. The second thing Crowdhelix's machine learning works to match you to are specific calls coming out of the European Funding and Tenders portal. And as we get into May, when these calls formally open from the European Commission, Crowdhelix's platform will kind of explode with activity, specifically matching you to specific calls for funding. The idea of this and our connection to the European Funding and Tenders portal is to hopefully reduce the amount of time that you have to spend going through, for example, work programs. What are you eligible for? We can match you to that, as well as opportunities to collaborate. And I will go into more detail about this in just a second. But Crowdhelix members and users, they make a profile about themselves. This is my profile, for example. They add as much information as they'd like, a biography, a photo, a website. But the main point here are expertise keywords. These are, in theory, keywords about myself, the expertise I have, and that I could offer to a collaborative partnership, a proposal, a project, etc. Crowdhelix's machine learning picks up on these keywords, and it matches you now to these opportunities. So we'll just take a look at a couple of them. And this is an opportunity that's coming from a university in Greece, for example. This is one of the few open calls right now. It's the 20th of March. So this is a Horizon Wideera opportunity. The deadline is on April 10th. It's a coordination and support action. Georgios has posted this in our health, food, and circular industry Helix communities. So every single person subscribed to those, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. They've been notified about this opportunity to collaborate. They are seeking partners. In this case, Georgios is indicating that he can act as the coordinator. Maybe 25, 30% of the posts on Crowdhelix are from coordinators who are seeking partners. Georgios needs further expertise in health, food, agriculture, circular bioeconomy. Goes into a little bit of detail about what they're trying to achieve, maybe what they have to offer. And you could engage with this post or any post on Crowdhelix in a few different ways. The first is, well, in this case, they've left their email address. Simple. The second is you could send a message through our platform. These messages are confidential, of course. You can share opportunities with a colleague. So my colleague, Paul, is already on Crowdhelix, but if you know somebody who is not on Crowdhelix yet, you could send them an invitation to sign up, to view this opportunity, to potentially get in touch and start a partnership. And then lastly, we can leave a comment below. So these are comments kind of happening in real time, open collaboration happening in real time from academia and industry across Crowdhelix. And like I said, we are doing this across more than 50 thematic communities. Many of them are cross-cutting with each other. Another example just here below before I move on, you'll notice that these posts do not have a specific kind of identifier code attached to them. There's no link to the European Funding and Tenders portal. That's because these individuals are maybe working off of draft work programs, like this one from the University of Leeds. They're trying to get ahead of the game. They know that these calls will be opening in May, but there's no reason to waste time between now and then. They have an opportunity to get ahead of the game to start finding potential partnerships that they want to facilitate. So keep that in mind if you sign into Crowdhelix and you're thinking, well, the calls aren't even open yet. Well, look at all these people. The calls aren't open yet, but they're still targeting mission cancer and mission climate calls, including people from CNR who want to build these partnerships. And this is an excellent example here. So keep that in mind as you look at Crowdhelix. Okay, let's move on to a few more points. When you hear the word opportunities, I use this word a lot. I usually mean opportunities to collaborate, pre-award opportunities, consortia building. And under the opportunities section are the most recent opportunities posted across all areas of interest. So 1 hour ago, 14 hours ago from this small business, yesterday, Marsh Polytechnic University, posting about MSCA opportunities they're coordinating. We are promoting our newest event, which is open for registration. This is a matchmaking event. It opened just yesterday. And you can go down and down and down across all areas of interest and academia and industry. And we'll look at a couple more examples in just a second. First, Crowdhelix is broken down into more than 50 thematic communities, called helixes. So each of these is like a village that is populated with researchers and research managers who want to connect and collaborate to do open innovation projects, to build consortia, submit proposals, get funding, and deliver impact. That's what each of these is. We create a new helix, well, for a few different reasons. First, there's a really obvious critical mass, an area like health, for example. There's tons of funding, there's tons of people interested. Some of the communities you'll find are aligned with the missions of Horizon Europe, like Mission Climate, Mission Ocean and Waters. And then other communities you'll notice have maybe a more niche focus area, an area like dementia care. This could fit under health, or Black Sea. This could fit under the Mission Ocean and Waters, for example. If you see a community with a very kind of specific focus area, well, it might be stemming from a project that was funded under the EU's Horizon program. Crowdhelix is an impact partner within the consortium, so leading dissemination and communications work packages. The project was funded, and then the project got its own community built into our platform to perpetuate impact, facilitate clustering, connections with sister projects, financing, market uptake, etc. The community remains live on the platform for even several years after the funding finishes, and we've had over 30 projects funded in this way, so it's been fairly successful. Then finally, the last way we create community is because an organization like yours, a university, they say to us, why isn't there a heritage and culture community on Crowdhelix? If you create one, if you populate it with researchers, we will happily take a leadership role and maybe host events, coordinate proposals. So there's a few different ways. If you look at Crowdhelix and you think there's a gap here, there's something missing, let's have a discussion. Maybe we could have a CNR-led Helix community going forward. But of course, there's 50 communities. Not everyone in the world is focused on every single area of interest. So for this reason, we can filter by communities. I'm going back now to you, the researcher. What do you do when you come to Crowdhelix for the very first time? There's all this information, there's all this content. How do you get started? Usually the best way to do that is to filter by areas or communities that might be more relevant to you. And you can usually filter by maybe 3 of these at a time. So I've just picked health, and I've just picked the materials community. Let's maybe take a look at the mission climate community as well. Here it is. And now we will filter out the other areas, the most recent opportunities that have been posted across these 3 areas of interest. It's a really good way to identify something. Maybe somebody's seeking really more specific expertise, like this post from the University of Coimbra. They will be coordinating cluster 5 calls when these open. So this is a really good opportunity to take a look. It's from 1 day ago. Maybe we get in touch with the University of Coimbra, like all these people have been doing over the last couple of hours, because they know they want to collaborate on cluster 5, and we have somebody indicating that they are willing to coordinate. Another way that we can search on Crowdhelix is through expertise keywords. So for example, climate. If I type this into Crowdhelix and I search opportunities, I'll see all the most recent posts that have been added with this as one of the keywords, coming from Ireland, coming from Spain, coming from the Netherlands, so the University of Twente, coming from Czech Republic in Prague, for example, coming from the UK. Lots of opportunity here. Another way that we could search would be, for example, when the calls open. If we typed in the specific call identifier code, this is a good way to see maybe who has already started a conversation. Of course, the last round of cluster 5 calls closed in February, but we can type in these codes. Is there a conversation that is already on its way that we can join, like this one from Southampton, for the next round? Maybe we can jump in, send a message. But of course, if you're not seeing what you want to see, if nobody has posted about the exact opportunity you want to work on yet, well, you might have to be the first person to get the ball rolling. The posts do not appear magically, unfortunately, so we might need to make our own post. And I'll show you how that user journey works very, very quickly here. Anybody from an organization, a member of Crowdhelix, can post on our platform, and they have 2 options here. Project proposal, this means pre-award. You're trying to build a consortium. Existing means you're trying to promote something having to do with an existing project. And you can see project proposal is the most frequent. Some of them are existing projects. Some of the projects will even have a name because they've already been funded, like RM Roadmap, for example. We'll quickly go through the project proposal journey. Hopefully this makes sense. You start by selecting your organization. So mine is Crowdhelix. Which communities are you posting in? Whose eyeballs do you want to see this opportunity? Do you want the circular industry community to see this? Do you want the health community to see it? Do you want, for example, the society? This is like SSH, creative industries, democratic governance, for example. Everyone in these communities will be notified that you're interested in collaborating. Seeking expertise for a Horizon Europe proposal. This is my title. It's a fairly generic title, but it works for this example. Next, how do we want to act in this consortium? I showed you at least 3 different posts from a coordinator seeking partners. So there was one from the University of Thessaloniki in Greece, the University of Coimbra. I think we looked at another one from Charles University. They indicated that they can coordinate. Obviously, this is a huge job. Not everyone has the ability or expertise to coordinate, but maybe you do want to lead a work package. You obviously want to be a consortium partner. You indicate how you can act in a consortium. Next, we add those expertise keywords that I keep talking about. So these feed into the platform's machine learning. They match your opportunity to other people's dashboards. So if you're seeking expertise in clinical trials, this will be matched to the dashboard of the person who has that to offer or the ability to facilitate that. That's how the keywords work. You can pick them from this drop-down menu. You can make them up. You can be as specific as you'd like to be. I suggest that you be very specific because this will narrow down exactly what you're looking for and match your post to the right people. If this is an open Horizon opportunity, you will find it in the drop-down menu here. If it's not open yet, you will not find it here. But you, of course, can submit maybe the current identifier code from the draft work program into the title, kind of like the opportunity I showed you from the University of Leeds. There's plenty of examples of this on Crowdhelix right now. The one I just showed you from Coimbra, trying to find partners for upcoming Cluster 5 calls. It's fairly simple. But if it's open, you will find it here, and it will link you to the European portal and tell you about the deadline and the type of action. I've selected this one sort of randomly. Next, you go into detail about what you have to offer. Ideally, the expertise you're seeking is in the keywords, and what you have to offer is in the text. We are coordinating a proposal. We are building this consortium from scratch. We're using Crowdhelix to do it. Or we have a consortium mainly formed. We need a couple more partners to join. We need an SME with an expertise in robotics, preferably from a widening participation region. This is an example of kind of what you would go into detail about. Then finally, visibility. So extended network, this is the one I tend to suggest. Extended network means organizations from or individuals from an organization like an academic institution, a research center. They're not part of Crowdhelix yet, but we know them, we trust them. People like myself could share an opportunity with them. Extended network means you're allowing your post to be shared with the widest network of those whom we consider to be trusted collaborators. Network means members only. So Imperial College London, University of Venice, these are members of Crowdhelix, and we are only showing our post to them. Public means we can disseminate your post on social media, usually on LinkedIn. This is up to the person posting who decides. Extended network is what I tend to suggest. Once you submit, it comes to us for moderation. We review your opportunity. It's actually usually me personally. And then it goes live on the platform. If I have any other questions for you, I will send you an email and ask you, but that kind of kickstarts the collaboration journey. On the other side of the, I guess, the open innovation coin, we have results. Opportunities are pre-award. Results are post-award. These are results often from Horizon projects that we have helped to facilitate, but not always, and they do not have to be from a Horizon project. Think of any key exploitable result happening at your institute. If you would like to promote it to a wider network of stakeholders, we can do that for you. This space is right now an excellent dissemination tool to 17,000 plus researchers, research managers, and other stakeholders. As we continue to build this out, There's about 128 results on Crowdhelix right now. This will soon become a great place for essentially investment or commercialization. So have a think about something that you'd like to post on Crowdhelix, whether it's a position paper, whether it's a key exploitable result with a technology readiness level. Think about promoting it on Crowdhelix. This is a great way to get it out there to a wider network. And of course, you can filter by areas that are more relevant to you if you would like to. So health, maybe cross-cutting with CO2, maybe cross-cutting with mission soil, and it will show us those opportunities here. And of course, you can post a result on Crowdhelix just like you add a pre-award opportunity. So take advantage of that. And of course, I can answer questions for you later. Under network and helixes, we have an overview of every single community if we want to take a deeper look. And we'll dive into the health helix in this example. In the health helix, we can engage with the community in 3 different ways. The first are the opportunities to collaborate from our member organizations who are posting, offering, or seeking expertise, acting as a coordinator, seeking a coordinator. That's what you find here. We've already looked at several examples. Results, we can take a look at any health-focused results that we find within our community. Of course, they're often cross-cutting with other areas like with food or with materials. But again, this is where we can engage. The third way we can engage are events, and I'll go into more detail about these in just a second. But if we click View Helix, we have sort of a landing page of the community and any other community. Some background and some scope. In this case, the Health Helix, why it was created. It has a population of just over 3,100 individuals from 80 countries. Each helix has a leading organization, in this case, LBG in Austria. They're the leaders of the Health Helix. They do things like maybe host events or coordinate proposals from time to time. And Daniel is the main person at LBG that you can reach out to. He has an excellent profile here as well. He's got information about himself, his expertise, keywords. He's linked his ORCID record, which is something you can do as well. And here we have the other sort of major players that have decided that they want to profile their logo here because they want you to reach out to them. And if you wanted your logo featured here, you simply click join and it shows up. We can click through to, for example, the University of Copenhagen and see their profile. At the moment, CNR has a fairly basic profile in place. It's just kind of gotten up and running. This is part of our mutual agreement together. So we're looking forward to seeing this kind of umbrella profile for all of the institutes taking shape over the coming weeks and months. There has been some activity in the past. We want to build on this. We want to make this a success. We want to have a person leading the organization, the public-facing person as well. So for example, on the university here, there's a main person who is our main point of contact. They've profiled a number of different departments and faculties. So this is kind of what we envision for CNR. Of course, we want as well at some point, we would like for each of the institutes to potentially take this opportunity and run with it. We would like to, for example, the CNR Membrane Institute has a profile on Crowdhelix, but there's 107 of you, right? So that's envisioned maybe a platform going forward over the coming months where each institute could have their profile on Crowdhelix, unlimited number of users actively using it to connect and collaborate and post. This is kind of our ultimate goal, so that this time next year, we have some serious points on the scoreboard. I know that CNR as a whole is already, I think, in the top 5 top recipients of EU funding. Crowdhelix wants to play a role in helping to facilitate more of that, but also diversifying your networks to other regions that maybe you're not working with yet. So Crowdhelix has members in Canada, in New Zealand, in South Korea. We have members across essentially every widening country and every single associated country to Horizon Europe. So let's build on that. Let's diversify our networks. Let's help new stage researchers maybe win funding or coordinate for the first time. Those kind of major players, those people who are really experienced, let's help you diversify your network a bit more if we can, because by this time next year, we want to have more success stories. quantifying success at Crowdhelix is a bit difficult. It's very labor intensive, believe it or not. What we can say is our members have secured just over 11.7 billion euros in funding. This is the overall track record of Crowdhelix members. Not every cent of that is attributed to a post on Crowdhelix. It's our track record of excellent members. The way we really quantify success is by reaching out to our member organizations after deadlines or after evaluation results come out. So, of course, we had the last round of evaluation results, and we asked them for a case study or a quote. And the majority of these are from academic institutions. And of course, we consider the funded success of a proposal to be kind of the A1 success story. But we have success stories from organizations far and wide, from academia, from industry, from, I guess, topic-specific research centers that are not academic institutions, from SMEs, and also from large corporations as well, who actively use Crowdhelix. This is what we're really interested in. The main way that we are kind of doing this year, aside from our platform, is, of course, the events. So Michael showed these events earlier. These are clustering events. They are call-specific. So each one has something like 3 to 6 specific calls that we've identified with these institutions right now, mainly by using the draft work programs, which we don't really expect to change much. These events are at the researcher level or research manager level. They're fairly intimate. They're maybe 40 to 55 people maximum. They take place over 2 half days usually. So imagine lunchtime on a Tuesday until lunchtime on a Wednesday. The first day is sort of like elevator pitch sessions from our members or from the coordinators who want to lead something. Of course, lots of networking time. There's usually a dinner. And then the second half day is about thematic parallel breakout sessions that are call specific. So in a perfect world, imagine we've selected 5 calls, we have 50 people, we have 5 rooms with 10 people in them, all working towards a specific call. They want to lay the groundwork for a robust consortium, get a proposal in the works, and get it submitted for September. We're doing this across 6 clusters. Here are the hosts. It's purely by a coincidence that 3 of them are in Stockholm, but these are, of course, excellent institutions, 2 of them here in the UK. And the Circular Economy and Materials event will be in Barcelona on the 29th and 30th of April. And actually, the registration for this event opened yesterday. It is open now, so you can go to our events page and register for this right now if you wanted to. Hosted by LATET Technological Center and D-Factory and Crowdhelix. We're targeting mainly cluster 4 industry calls. Here's a list of the calls we're looking at on Crowdhelix's website and events page, so feel free to come and take a look if you'd like to. And of course, the agenda, 2 half days, finishing on day 2 with a networking lunch. So this is what really we're all about. This is what Crowdhelix wants to achieve, funding success for our members. Crowdhelix participates in a lot of these projects as well, so funding success for driving impact across Europe. Well, but the ball is kind of in the court of researchers now. Use this tool, use it effectively, reach out to people like myself and Michael for help. Happy to discuss with you one-to-one. Of course, right now, this agreement is with the wider CNR organization at the top. Our ultimate goal is eventually to have the institutes profiled as well, effectively, actively using or working with us to make the best of our services. So I hope that was comprehensive. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I know I just spoke for 25+ minutes, so if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You could unmute your microphone if you're feeling brave, or drop your question in the chat and ask away that way.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay, some researchers of ours asked us to get down to the nitty gritty, and I think you did it. You did it all in detail. But ok, I'll switch to Italian. Ok, alla fine della tua presentazione, Kais, dovrebbe essere prevista una sessione di domande e risposte. C'è qua ancora qualcosa, diciamo, qualche elemento oscuro, diciamo, nella possibilità di di utilizzare la piattaforma nell'ambito del Memorandum of Understanding CNR e CNR Crowdhelix. Potete fare le domande che volete, insomma, se avete ancora qualche dubbio, nella chat qua a destra. Però per il momento non vedo una richiesta di PPT, mi sembra, delle slide. Sì, senz'altro verranno inviate ai partecipanti. Sarà anche registrato questo evento, quindi se qualcuno magari ha perso una parte per motivi di lavoro e non l'ha potuto vedere, sarà possibile rivederlo. Manderemo il link della registrazione di questo evento, dell'evento di stamattina. Allora, non vedo domande. Tutto chiarissimo, quindi.
I guess I've done my job effectively. Yeah.
You did your job effectively, really effectively. We all did our job effectively.
Okay. One thing I'd like to point out is that access to Crowdhelix is done through email domains. So as I mentioned, there's a profile for the wider, larger CNR organization right now. I know your institutes have lots of different domains. Maybe you can speak to that, Francesca.
No, yes, no, funny. They asked how it's possible to insert the profiles of the single institutes. They're supposed to be subdomains or different domains. This is also a question from me.
Yeah,
I haven't got it clear, in fact.
Indeed. So one thing that we need to do first, Barbara and Francesco, is we need to work together to decide whom will be, I guess, the main administrators, kind of the leader.
Okay.
Their face and their profile shows up here on the organization's profile. Once that is established, we can start creating subgroups for different institutes. We just have to kind of put a couple of things in place first. So I showed, for example, Copenhagen. I showed this as an example earlier, how there can be different departments or faculties or laboratories under the umbrella of a bigger organization. So that's what we can facilitate. I just need a couple of people from CNR to step up and say that they would like to be the leader, so I can give them this this go ahead. I can give you that
we
power.
have to make up our minds among us,
exactly,
our group. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Once that's sorted out, we can start launching. Yeah.
And the single institutes are under the definition of groups.
Yeah.
Or groups.
They can be.
Okay.
You can do that. You can put them under the as groups. They can, of course, have their own profile page. We can have a discussion with them directly about doing that. But right now, our agreement is with the National Research Council, like head organization, the different institutes, really providing our full range of services to each institute individually is a separate discussion between us, myself, and those people.
One more question. Luca Tavanti asks, I've seen Crowdhelix takes part in Horizon projects. What activities do you generally carry on? Do you ever coordinate projects? It's Crowdhelix, I guess. If so, under what conditions, criteria?
It's a good question. Thanks very much. So Crowdhelix leads the impact section. So we have done this across more than 35 projects at this point. We take a leadership role in the dissemination and communications work packages. We usually also lead a few exploitation tasks. We don't usually coordinate projects as an overarching coordinator. We are an SME, and our main focus is matchmaking and consortia building. So anyone who's coordinated a project before will know it's a massive undertaking. So we focus on just impact. It's what we're very good at. We've had over 35 projects funded in this way. Essentially what it means is, say, for example, you have a project in the area of dementia care or maybe circular economy. We build our model into the proposal, into the impact section. And what it means is, if this project is funded, we will establish a brand new dementia care community on Crowdhelix. We will populate it over the years with hundreds of stakeholders interested in facilitating future collaborative partnerships in that project's area of interest, clustering, market uptake and commercialization, I suppose, after the project finishes. It's an impact and collaboration focused community that now exists to support that project and facilitate future projects. And this is kind of a diagram that shows how it works. So in an overarching way. So we set up a community, we enable engagement, we facilitate impact for the project's key exploitable results, which is part of why we have a results section on our platform. Then the project remains live for even a few years after the funding finishes as part of the Helix model. So the circular industry Helix, for example, is an example of this. A project called Resource was funded, I think at the very beginning of Horizon Europe. So we launched this community. It now has over 680 researchers from 54 countries focused on circularity in heavy industry. So it's quite specific. It's not just like an industry Helix, it's circularity in industry. Then we had a second project funded in this way. So this community did its job very well. It helped to breed a second project in its own area of interest. So this is the model working effectively, creating new projects for clustering. And so this will continue to grow over the years of Resource will finish soon. This project IS2H4C, it will continue to go. The community will continue to grow. We will start having results being posted in the area of circular industry, which we have now already, to be disseminated across, I guess, the wider European research area. You can see them here. So this is the Crowdhelix impact model. If you'd like to learn more about it, I can send you some slides after our session. I hope that makes sense. Those of you who've worked on impact before probably understand what I'm talking about. And no, we do not coordinate proposals typically. We don't have the resource to do that.
Of course. Yes, we have 3 more questions, but it actually is the same question because some people try to register with Crowdhelix, but the confirmation email didn't arrive yet. Is there a timing of approval? It says the question. It asks.
It might be in your spam folder. Maybe check your spam folder. One thing that we need to do as well is, like, a lot of your institutes will have access to Crowdhelix over the coming days and weeks once we establish with Francesco and Barbara about who will be the leader. Then we can start adding the different email domains. So for a lot of you, this is actually an info session. Right now, the Membrane Technology Institute has access to Crowdhelix. This is kind of an info session for you to show you what is coming up. So you might not have access yet if we haven't identified your institute and added your email domain yet.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so just keep that in mind.
We have to fight it out among us to decide who will be the leader. Okay.
There's a leadership contest at the top. Hopefully it's not going to take too long.
All right. Christina Marzaki asks, to coordinate impact, Crowdhelix joins in the project as a partner. Do I understand correctly?
Yes, we can join as a partner that leads on dissemination and communications work packages and some exploitation tasks. We could potentially lead the exploitation section as well, but it's at the discretion of the organization or of the consortium, I suppose, to decide. We have a budget just like any other partner in the project. I see a person saying that they tried to use the plain domain. So if you use cnr.it and you were to go to our registration page and you were to search for this organization and add your name and your email address and agree to our terms and indicate that you are human, and click register, then an email will land on in your inbox. Maybe there's a slight delay, maybe it takes a few minutes, but typically it will land there in a few minutes. If you don't see it, then maybe check your spam folder. Of course, send me an email as well, and I'm more than happy to work with you. At the moment, you need to create
Just your
an
email.
account under the CNR Institute with your CNR email domain.
Later on. Ok.
Francesco, c'era una domanda di Emiliano Di Luzio che chiedeva se si possono registrare anche per ricerca di base, quindi
L'ho persa, non la vedo.
Era prima di Cristina Marzacchi.
Aspetta che
Yeah, so this is mainly an information session to make the majority of you, to make you aware of what's coming and what we're going to be discussing. So.
Yes, no, I've lost one question from Emiliano Di Luzio. He asks if a platform oriented mainly towards projects or research groups of high technological impact may involve and facilitate also the sectors of more basic research, who maybe have less contacts with enterprises and stakeholders. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so Crowdhelix is open to any tangible open opportunity to collaborate. It does not have to be, for example, Horizon Europe Pillar 2. It's just the majority of the posting on our platform does tend to focus on these large-scale Horizon projects under Pillar 2. But literally any opportunity to collaborate that you can think of that is tangible for other researchers, you are welcome to post it on Crowdhelix, and it's our job to try to find a partner for you. So have a scroll through, maybe do a search, take a look at the communities and the types of stakeholders within them. Add your own post to Crowdhelix saying, I'm applying for some internal funding or some national funding even, and I need another partner, maybe from another organization in Italy. Like, we can help you with this. This is our job. So don't think, unless it's a large multi-million euro research grant, that you can't use Crowdhelix for it.
Ho riportato in chat i contatti mail miei e di Francesco Donadio, perché poi dopo lascio la parola a Alessandro Molde che ha fatto una domanda, perché così se qualcuno di voi volesse avere maggiori informazioni o concertare insieme come segnalare il proprio account sotto l'ombrello CNR, ci potrà contattare, prendiamo un appuntamento e magari facciamo una video call o lo facciamo insieme, o comunque sia vi diamo supporto. Francesco, please.
Sì, Alessandro Molle asks has this question. After creating an account, Crowdhelix is also open to advise researchers on translating results like proof of concept to a connection with tech companies or innovation calls like EIC.
Yep, absolutely. You can absolutely post about EIC. If you were going to search on Crowdhelix, you could search for a specific type of EIC call that's been added to this. Like I said, don't be shy just because it's not a large Pillar 2 opportunity. You can absolutely look for it, or even be the first person to post about it. And for example, you'll find that there is a EIC Pathfinder community on Crowdhelix already. So there's 525 people from 46 countries who are actively using this community. Some of the organizations involved include University College of Cork, Weizmann Institute, IDIBAPS. They're an organization based in Catalonia. Zaz Ventures is a company based in Belgium, Switzerland, and France. They kind of lead on this community for us. So yes, there's absolutely a Pathfinder Helix community that you can use, hopefully use effectively.
Yeah, your correct email address, I think it's crowdhelix.com, right? Not IT. There was some doubt by one of our researchers.
Oh yes, I'm getting distracted by my domain because of your domain. case.jurgens at crowdhelix.uk. This is my most effective email address.
.uk.
Yeah.
.uk. Not .com. .uk.
You could send to both of them, but I tend to use the UK. our Irish office have a .ie email domain, but either way, you can send it to either email address. It should reach me.
Okay, great, fine. No more questions. Just wait a few seconds to make sure that everything is clear. And I don't know if Maria Carmela Basile are the responsible.
Maria Carmela Basile is busy with.
It's busy. She said maybe she could be back.
Si scusa con tutti quanti, però è stata chiamata e quindi non potrà partecipare alla parte della chiusura del webinar.
Ok, Barbara, lascio a te la chiusura, i saluti, confermando che questa giornata è registrata, quindi se qualcuno non ha capito qualcosa, Greta Varchi ha alzato la mano, vuole intervenire? Prego, Greta Varchi. One more question maybe.
No, è stato per errore, scusate.
Va bene, benissimo. Allora, lascio a te, Barbara, la chiusura della giornata. Allora.
Benissimo, allora, prima di tutto vi ringraziamo per l'interesse che avete dimostrato e per essere arrivati fino alla fine, anche avendo contribuito attraverso le vostre domande a poter esplorare, andare con i tempi che ovviamente oggi avevamo, un po' più nel profondo, specialmente negli aspetti tecnici della piattaforma. Noi ci auguriamo, chiaramente le informazioni che oggi avete ricevuto sono molteplici, quindi servirà sicuramente un tempo per decantarle, confrontarsi magari anche con i colleghi e definire la migliore strategia. Come ha detto anche Francesco, l'evento è registrato, non appena Crowdhelix ci darà la registrazione del video, noi prepareremo una mail insieme anche, la caricheremo su un canale YouTube, immagino, cioè ci daranno il link, prepareremo una mail sempre attraverso la lista dipendenti, questa è la nostra intenzione, vi manderemo tanto la registrazione quanto le slide che oggi sono state proiettate, in maniera tale che se la volete rivedere o magari dei vostri colleghi che non hanno potuto prendere parte oggi all'evento, sarà possibile rivedere tanto la registrazione quanto le slide. Come vi abbiamo detto, ho messo nella chat gli indirizzi mail miei e di Francesco Donadio, che tanto sono nome.cognome @cnr.it, perché comunque sia, laddove voi foste intenzionati ad andare avanti, a segnarvi sotto la macro area del CNR, quindi come istituto nel groups per intenderci, e voleste magari un po' di supporto o quant'altro, noi siamo disponibili a darvelo, magari prendendo un appuntamento, facciamo una video call, vediamo, oppure se ci sono dei problemi tecnici, chiaramente ci sentiamo anche con CAIS e vi mettiamo in contatto. Questo quindi non vuol dire che dovete passare per noi, potete anche farlo autonomamente, magari vi chiediamo la gentilezza di avvisarci, così noi sappiamo e possiamo un pochino di più monitorare. Detto questo, I would like to thank Kais and Michael for their presentation and information given to our research teams. I and Francesco, as soon as possible, will hear Kais for creating the groups for Promuovere and other aspects from our research teams. Detto questo, io vi ringrazio.
Looking forward to a fruitful collaboration.
Indeed, as are we. Let's stay in touch. For those of you who are really interested in circular economy and materials, take a look at that event. It really might be a good opportunity for you to get your fingers dug into the collaborations we're making in Cluster 4. So let me know if you have any questions.
Chiudo tutto, ma portandovi anche i ringraziamenti da parte della mia responsabile, Maria Carmela Basile, che vi ringrazia e spera anche lei che da questo accordo possano nascere opportunità, specialmente per voi ricercatori, di nuove collaborazioni, nuove opportunità, attrazione di finanziamento o entrare in contatto con partner nuovi che magari non sareste riusciti a trovare su altri canali. Grazie a tutti.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.